What's good, YouTube? Cardfight King here, Aqua Life Baby. You already know how it is. And so today, guys, I just want to do a quick deck profile. And give you an update to my Harri Palemoon deck. I'll probably also do one with Silverthorn now that I got the new promo card that came out. This is probably going to be the last Palemoon deck profiles I do, pretty much. Like I said, I'm not focusing on any other deck other than Aqua Force as soon as we get the stuff into my hands. And, I just made a few updates to it. So, all my other decks have not been updated. I actually have a few Aqua Force videos I'm going to release this week as well, talking about prepping for the sneak peek this weekend, what cards to kind of target and look out for. And probably decks that you could probably try to build first in a way like that. So, we're going to just go hop right into it. I'll explain the changes and everything that, we did. It's nothing too crazy. I got to turn this thing off. Alright, so it's nothing too crazy. It's nothing too crazy of a change, really. Obviously, starters, happiness collector. We got 4 draw, 4 heal, very staple lineup, and then somewhere around here is 8 critical. So standard 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal. I have seen people move to 6 draws. Not really. I never really tried it. I felt as if the deck draws enough. So, yeah. But I got three copies of the Halo of Bond, Solid or Bangle. So basically, what it is you take a grade 2 card from your hand, tuck it into your soul, look at the top 3, reveal 1 card to your opponent, add it to your hand, and then tuck the other 2 at the bottom of your deck. So, reason why we're playing this is because this is a 4 grade 3 deck. And if you'll notice with a lot of, at least especially with my videos and whatnot, I am a stickler for consistency. I'm all about, is my deck consistent enough? Can I consistently get to X, Y, and Z? And the problem that a lot of players have with Harri is that it's a pretty good deck. It is a pretty good deck. The problem is that it's not consistent. By turn 3, you need to have a Harri in hand. You need to have at least 2 Magia Dolls in the soul, and you need to have Pigeon Pop in your hand. If you don't satisfy those conditions by turn 3, then you're going to be a turn or 2 behind your opponent, and it's really just going to be an uphill climb, especially with the fact that we're only running 4 copies of Harri, because that's the only grade 3 that you want to ride in the deck. You want, along with the grade 3 searcher, you want some additional power to search and be able to move cards from the top of your deck. The fact that they just go to the bottom is cool because you're literally moving 3 cards from the top of your deck, and you're starting to get closer to possibly those Harri copies. So that's really what it is that I just wanted to improve the consistency for the deck, whether it's finding Harri or getting Pigeon Pop or anything like that. That's what we really want to do. 3 copies of Flying Periton and 3 copies of Mirror Master. A lot of it's because we can recycle them. We can recycle them with Pigeon Pop from the drop zone. But I needed to make a cut here because we needed to fit in 2 copies there, so we had to cut 1 of each. And again, for this, because if you don't get to Harri, then it's all null and void anyways. That's basically it. The thing about Vanguard is that you always want to give yourself a chance to win, and if you're not on Harri, then you're not really giving yourself a chance to win. So grade 2s, 4 Jackies or Jacquelines. Again, consistency card. I didn't cut her down because, with cutting down the Magia Dolls, like the Magia Dolls are vanilla out until they come off the soul, really. And, this card does become a vanilla later in the game, but she's literally a card for setup, especially when you need to, when you need to see if you hopefully find that certain Magia Doll, or even Pigeon Pop. I mean, Pigeon Pop is literally the key to this deck's real strength, which is, you know, Starry Pop, and make sure that Starry Pop is nice and powerful. So you really want to her so you can get to your pigeons, which is obviously weirdly enough my favorite card in the deck. And then we have 4 pigeons. I saw some profiles where some people cut him down to 3. Personally, I don't agree with that. Again, because this guy essentially is your win con, and you need to be able to get to him early and often. Again, if you can consistently get to this card game after game, then that will improve your chances to win. Just that simple. We have 3 copies of Lunatic Dragon and 3 copies of Piranha. So, yeah. Lunatic kind of sucks, but he can be decent. Even against MLB, he can be decent because they don't really use their soul much for anything anyways, and you could just tuck their MLBs into the soul rather than putting them into the drop zone, which is nice. Obviously 4 copies of Harry, and then we finish that off with 2 copies of Starry Pop, because if you damage or have to G-assist the Starry Pop, you always have 1 more in your deck. Yeah, but that's pretty much it, guys. The deck, the deck's a pretty good deck, and like I said, I think with this deck, you just need to be consistent. It just needs a consistency boost. What I wish Harry had was a card that on Vanguard Circle you can ride it and you can search the top 7 cards for a Harry and or, whatever the grade 2, or just a Harry, something like that. Because like the order card is good, but if you already have your setup and everything, then you don't really need the order card anymore. And then the order card becomes a shieldless card, a shieldless card that doesn't really do much for you. Now you can add triggers, you can do whatever it is, but again, the deck to me is already pretty solid for what you already know what the deck wants to do. Pump out the Magia Dolls, drops, get pigeon into Starry Pop, start building up those Excel 1 circles, or Excel 2 if you're in a bind, and then start swinging on your opponent. Put your opponent in range of them needing to block that Starry Pop, and I mean that's really why we're running the 8 crits. Again, hitting a crit trigger in this deck is very devastating, especially when you're able to put it on top of a card that gains, that's pretty much like says, well, you can't sentinel this, so now you're gonna have to hard guard. They're gonna have to hard guard it. With the deck, I usually go Excel. The tournament that I played it in, as I said in the profile, I mostly went Excel 2, but really I go Excel 1 with the deck, because in this format, a lot, especially against Luard and whatnot, you don't have time to be, doing Excel 2 and kind of just ramping up that way. That will require you to rewrite Harry again just to get him to that 40k threshold. I want to get my dragon to 40k as soon as possible. I want to get the jump on them as soon, ASAP. So that's pretty much my thought behind it. But again, this deck just needed a bump in consistency, and putting in the Halo Bonds was the best option I saw. I'll probably come at you guys with a Silverthorn deck profile later on this week. But yeah, this is Cardfight King, Aqua Life Baby. Countdown to Aqua Force. We're almost there. And we're out.